Andre, you've ever had to do the trough? Like there's
No.
Oh.
I haven't. I only go to civilized sporting events.
Right. Well, don't come to Philadelphia, but
I lived in Philly actually for like 3.5 months. I was working at the Inquirer there.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Yeah, under a guy named Carl Stark. I was in the health beat. So that was kind of fun. You can find. I have one front page story. It was a Sunday story about
wow.
hospital waiting times. Yeah. No, there's no talking in the men's bathroom.
No, God, no. If you're that bastard who opens their mouth to talk, get the out.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm not dealing with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
It's
save
so
that
funny.
for where you're washing your hands. Like, you
Correct.
got something. You got to say something to somebody. It's like, yeah, when we're drying our hands under the thing, then
Yeah.
you can talk a little bit. But other than this,
Right.
but I'm polyamorous, and so I had like a bunch of partners. I had 5 partners like going into COVID, came out with 1, But
Yeah.
so I was just like taking nudes, and we were just like sexting each other, and I was like, man, I got all this content. I can just put it online and see what happens. I just know that I need to do it. I'm gonna be Obama,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna stay in character the entire time. So let me be clear.
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat that up. I'm gonna do
Oh
it
my god. Oh my god.
time.
All right, this is the Working Perspectives podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied by the one and only Ray Ray. On the show today, we have the amazing Andre Stone. I'll tell you, this was one hell of an episode. Had so much fun with this. Really, honestly, like, loved how open he was about everything. Loved how the stuff he was sharing and his content, and honestly getting to the nitty gritty of the business. Ray, what did you think about Andre Stone?
Yeah, I think it's just amazing. I liked the way he talked about the male talent because I even get that question sometimes. Guys will come to me, they're like, how do I get in the industry? I'm like, I'm not a guy. So it was really nice to actually hear his perspective on all of it and kind of how he could help guys get into the industry, and also how it isn't for everyone, because it definitely isn't. So
That's the truth. Plus, I mean, he had a great, like, as a guy, you think, he kind of put it out there where he talks about, like, building a scene where all guy thinks is like, all right, it's this and this and blah, 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 but he really, like, broke it down piece by piece, and you were great with helping navigate that as well because of your experience and really opening up, like, it's kind of like a kind of a behind the scenes explanation of the industry itself, and I really enjoyed it. What did you think?
I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the way that he talked about it. I would love to have him on set because he actually kind of knows the angles. He knows what he's doing. He shot with a good amount of people, so it was really nice to get the male perspective of all of that, because I always know from my perspective how it's supposed to go, but it's cool to have it reciprocated. So
also too, like, he's got a very unique view of the industry as well, because of, like, the niche that he's in isn't really like it's not like a huge common one where it's like he's done a bunch of really big stuff and worked with a bunch of big places, but he's in like a niche demographic at times, as well as like a huge demographic, and he caters to a bunch of different types of people with a bunch of different interests. So really interesting stuff.
He is really, really interesting. I really enjoyed the way that he brought in all of it, and he just talked about the bi and the trans, because you don't hear about that very often. Like I said, I did do scenes with, it was supposed to be 2 bi guys, and it was really hard to find 2 bi guys who were not just gay or trans or whatever, and so it was really nice to just hear his perspective on all of that. So
yeah, he was super awesome, open and honest, and I'm really excited for people to listen to this. So without any further ado, I'm Matt Lavelle, she's Ray. This is the Working Perspectives podcast, and our guest today is the one and only Andre Stone. Enjoy.
On every platform, so check out our vibe and how we get live. Then do us a solid, share and subscribe. Would you share it? Would you share it? Would you share it? Working Perspectives.
Hello and welcome to the Working Perspectives podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied today by the one and only Ray, and our guest today is the incredible, the outstanding, the amazing Andre Stone. Andre Stone is a former lawyer and journalist turned porn star. Andre is a one-of-a-kind talent. His chiseled body, versatility to take on any scene, charm, and sense of humor make him a standout in the male talent of the adult industry. The native Los Angelino adult performer, content creator, and cam star started in adult during COVID, posting nudes on the internet, and the world couldn't get enough. And the well-endowed hottie and his epic loads, besides becoming a go-to male talent, Andre wants to conquer Pornhub, be on every banner ad, and terrorize his friends who just want to masturbate in peace. He's already worked for many of the top studios, including Grooby Girls, Kink Men, TransAngels, Deep Lush, Gender X, Dogfart, and Grooby VR. In 2023, Andre scored a TEAS nomination for Best Male Performer and 3 Fleshbot Award nominations for his scene work. When Andre's not on set filming content, you'll find him getting to know his fans on social media, playing Dungeons and Dragons in video games, and cooking and experimenting in the kitchen. You can keep up with all this stuff with the links we'll have in the description for all his social media. I'm super excited to get him here. The first male talent we've had on the show, the one and only Andre Stone. Andre, how are you, sir?
I'm good. Thanks so much for having me. It's fun. Looking forward to it.
Excited. Oh, man, this is great. Ray, how are you?
I'm really good. Yeah, can't complain. So
very cool. Glad to have you back. This is gonna be fun. All
Yes.
right, so Andre, we're gonna start out with a few of what we call disputed questions. One of my other co-hosts, a total kind of stunad named J-Dub, he isn't here today because he's not committed to the game, but whatever. But either way, yeah. Yeah, I'm not bitter about it at all or anything.
a little bit, just
But either way, so we have some questions that we typically argue about. So we ask other people so that they can point out how right I am and how wrong he is.
We'll see.
Yep. So the first question we like to ask is, what movie do you think is better, The Godfather Part 1 or The Godfather Part 2? I mean, the hard-hitting stuff early.
I might actually get kicked off the show. I've never seen any of the Godfather movies.
You know, it's honestly, we have a backup one of that. It's usually what movie do you think is better, The Titanic or The Notebook?
I've never fully watched The Titanic.
Same.
that's like an epic movie. Like
It is.
No, I saw that it was 4 hours long. I was like, I absolutely will not be watching that. And it came out when I was a kid, and I was like, yeah, no, thank you.
I mean, half of it is like romantic, and the other half is everyone dies.
Yeah. So I saw that when I was a kid. It came out. I mean, I was watching like 007 movies, and they're like, "Oh, you want to watch a 4-hour romantic?" No, that. Yeah. So I never watched it. I did watch The Notebook, and actually, it kind of reminded me like if I recall at the very end, no spoilers for this 20-year-old movie. It's like the guy has like Alzheimer's or something.
The girl, yes.
Yeah. And so it kind of reminded me of my grandparents, because my grandpa had he had strokes, and so it was hard for him to sort of like connect with reality. But every time we'd play a song or something like that, we would connect with them. I guess it's streakling there going. And then it was really nice. So that one kind of hit me. So I guess I'll go with The Notebook.
Yeah, honestly, I'll tell you. I mean, spoiler, but the one scene at the end after James Garner is done reading to her, and then she forgets who he is. Oh my God!
Yeah, I cried.
Oh, dude, I was like, come on.
But both of them are very sad. They're both sad love stories. So.
I mean,
I watched it with my girlfriend at the time, and she fell asleep. And then, she forgets who he is, and I started like crying, and I was trying to keep it cool so she didn't wake up. I thought it was good. I thought that was like Ryan Gosling yelling in the rain, right? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that was the start of the Gaz's rise to like superstardom, because before that he'd done like Remember the Titans, and everyone's like, who's this guy?
That was a good movie too.
I mean, Remember the Titans is an epic movie.
Classic.
Yeah.
Absolute classic. So okay, next question. I do want to ask this. You got coffee. What is your go-to Starbucks order?
Okay, so I drink Starbucks literally every day. Every single morning, and it's
you're a smart individual. So
that's what I'm saying. I calculated out. I think it's like I'm gonna spend $3,600 and $3,650 on my order, because it's like $10 a year. It's a Trenta cold brew.
Love it.
Usually with no ice. Sometimes I spice it up with a little bit of ice.
Sure.
And a little bit of oat milk. Sometimes I put sometimes I do the 3 pumps of classic syrup. but usually I just do it like that. And then the spinach feta wrap. The spinach feta wrap goes crazy, and it's only like 250 calories or something like that.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it's actually really good.
I do like they have like the egg bite gimmicks too. Those are nice.
Those are good. The roasted red pepper kind of go crazy.
Oh, bro, dude.
Come on, I'm saying.
Come on.
I'm saying, man.
Do you have a go-to Starbucks order, Ray Ray?
So I am a coffee snob.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
So I have a very nice Krups machine in my house, and so I go to a local roaster and I get local beans and I grind them fresh every day and make coffee. But if I was not going to do that, then I would probably get I like chai. I'm a chai latte person. So,
the chai latte.
yeah, if I was going to, actually right now I'm in the mix of making my own chai latte to put out and call it Dirty Girl Chai.
Ooh,
But
I love that.
so yeah, I love a good chai latte if I'm gonna actually go to Starbucks. So
Noted.
Yeah, no, chai. I'll tell you this. Never went to Starbucks or drank coffee in my life. Then I met my wife, and she's European, and legit, they inject that in their veins. And so I met her, and like she was like, "Wait, you don't go to Starbucks and drink coffee?" I was like, "Do I have to?" And then I started, and I'm like, "Yes, I have to."
I have to. Yeah, you have to. Yeah, once you've been to Italy or over there where they actually have good coffee, oh my gosh, you'll never.
Oh my God.
Want to go to.
I lived in New York for 3 years, 3.5 years, back when I was doing journalism. And there was a place called Oren's. It's like a local coffee roaster in New York, and I would do the same, where I'd get the, I was like, oh, actually, when did you guys roast it? Like, how many weeks ago did you guys roast it? And then like do my own blend or whatever. Yes, I was very much into that. And then I got lazy. I was just like, Dad, I'm just gonna go to Starbucks and like, you know what I mean?
Convenience is worth it.
Yeah, I tried to make my own cold brew with the little machines or the little things you can get on Amazon, but the grounds always fell through, so it like messed up my throat. So I was like, I'm just gonna keep it easy and just go to Starbucks.
Yeah.
When me and my wife were last in Europe, I got hooked on Turkish coffees.
Oh,
okay.
Bro, I mean, I've had a French press before, and legit, the French press gave me like heart palpitations, which is great. That's what you want in your coffee. But this Turkish coffee, oh my damn. Like, who wants to run a marathon?
Yes.
Okay.
That would put a skip in your step, pal. Oh man. Well, it's like, I would say it's comparable to like, I mean, I don't want to be crass, but it's like, hey, there's doing opiates and there's doing heroin. You know what I mean?
Right.
Stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You got to get the hard stuff.
I wouldn't know. I don't know.
Right.
But
I wouldn't know either, but that's what I would think it would be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, okay, let's keep it moving then. Next disputed question we have, pancakes or waffles?
Oh, that's tough. Waffles.
Good.
Yeah, specifically the Roscoe's chicken and waffles ones that are like long and flat and have a bunch of the little holes.
Yeah.
Because there's like way more syrup to waffle ratio.
Oh yeah.
Pancakes are excellent. I'm not,
sure.
some of my best friends are pancakes.
Right.
But yeah, no, I gotta go with waffles.
Yeah. And like you're stating, the versatility of the waffle can't be understated. You know what I mean?
You got Belgian to Eggo to Roscoe's. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
I love a good Eggo. People knock an Eggo. I love a good Eggo.
They're cool.
I had them growing up. I don't have them anymore. But
when I was coming up, the public pool near my house used to do waffles and ice cream with an Eggo. And let me tell you,
wow,
that sounds crazy, but it sounds good.
It's the best thing you'll ever have in your life. So, all right. Next question then. Cheetos, are you crunchy or are you puffed?
Oh, crunchy. I'm gonna go crunchy.
Yeah,
another win. Yeah, another win. Yeah, crunchy is way better.
Again, the puffs are good, but if I'm gonna sit down and have you can't have a puffy chip with sandwiches, in my opinion.
Right.
So they're less versatile. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you could just snack on the crunchy ones whenever, but if I'm gonna have a sandwich, I'm not gonna get Cheetos Puff. Like, I'm an adult person. Right. I'm not eating Cheetos Puffs with a sandwich. That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. The main reason for any chip on the sandwich is the texture, right? Yeah. And the puff doesn't add any texture to the sandwich. I mean, are we?
It just absorbs into it. Yeah.
Come on, we're all smart individuals here.
Mm-hmm.
So
we're adults here,
Yeah, like honestly, these are the important things people need to know. All
Yeah.
right. Next question. Who do you like better, Chevy Chase or Bill Murray?
Bill Murray.
Yeah.
I haven't seen as much Chevy Chase stuff.
Right.
But I have seen a good bit of Bill Murray stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Bill Murray.
Yeah.
I don't have
Which
a
is-
strong opinion on it, but if I'm leaning Murray.
Right. Murray's just the man. He's the best.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Apparently he does this thing where he's a big like Chicago Cubs fan, and
Yeah.
he'll go to a Cubs game and he'll go to the bathroom, like the public restroom at the Cubs game
Right.
at Wrigley Field, and he'll go up behind someone who's at the urinal and cover their eyes.
Oh my
right?
god.
And then when they turn around and see it's him, he tells him, he's like, no one will ever believe you.
Right.
Oh my god. I mean, that would work though. Like,
I
no
was
one
like,
would,
yeah. Like, to be
Mhm.
honest, if someone did that to me at the public urinal, I'd be like, listen, pal. Back
Right.
up. But you know, if I turn around
Yeah.
and it's him, I'm like,
Yeah.
Right.
you know, I was like,
I
that's
mean,
kind
I
of
don't
just
know what that's like because we like, you know.
right.
in the
You've
stall.
never,
We don't
you
have
only, yeah.
stall etiquette. We don't have urinal.
Well, like imagine you're in a stall and then somebody reaches their hands over and puts it over your eye.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
Imagine
you
there's
have really
someone
long
behind
arms.
you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your
Slender Man,
arms are
actually.
crazy long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we do talk to each other across the stalls and stuff and whatnot.
Oh, there's no talking in the men's bathroom.
No, God, no. If you're that bastard who opens their mouth to talk, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm
Dude,
not
what the-
dealing with it.
Yeah.
You
It's so
save that
funny.
shit for where you're washing your hands. Like, you got
Correct.
something. You got to say something to somebody. It's like, yeah, when
Right.
we're drying our hands under the thing, then
Yeah.
you can talk a little
Right.
bit. But other than that, shut the fuck
Right.
up.
There's
Yeah.
there's general, like, say if you're at a sporting event, you could say
Mhm.
go whatever, but that's like
Yeah.
a general thing. But one,
Yeah.
if you go into a men's bathroom and there's a line of urinals, you get the end one or the first one, right? And then if they're not, usually not the first one, you go towards the end. And
Right,
then
right.
if you're a guy
Right.
that goes right in the middle when there's a full open,
Yeah, that's crazy.
it's like, dude,
That's
who
crazy
are
behavior.
you? Who are you,
Yeah.
serial killer?
But
Like,
he-
get-
So how
Yeah,
does
you
this,
just want
is this
attention at that point.
learned? Like, is this learned as like when
dude, you know this. As I think it's like it's past, what's that basic
Yeah.
instinct kind of thing?
Yeah, it feels
Natural
genetic.
instinct. Yeah.
It feels
Yeah.
genetic.
You
Yeah.
do
So we
not
actually gotta
talk.
check their genes, see if there's something wrong with like the chromosomes. That they're like, yeah, I'm gonna go just piss in the middle. Like, what's your fucking
Yeah.
problem? Or the people that are like, when there's a whole line, they're like, yeah, I'm gonna go right next to you.
Yeah.
Like you
Dude.
can technically, it's a free country, but like,
Right.
what's your fucking problem, man?
Yeah, dude. Seriously.
I
Seriously.
mean, I don't know. If I
Everyone,
really
you
have
know.
to pee, I don't really care.
You've
Yeah.
never, I mean,
I-
have you ever, Andre, you've ever had to do the trough? Like
No,
there's
no.
so-
I haven't. I only go to civilized sporting events.
right. Well, don't come to Philadelphia, but
I lived in Philly actually for like 3.5 months. I was working at the Inquirer there.
oh, cool.
Wow.
Yeah, under a guy named Carl Stark. I was in the health beat. So that was kind of fun. You can find. I have one front page story. It was a Sunday story about
Oh, wow.
hospital waiting times. Yeah,
Damn.
yeah, a few times in the Inquirer. It's like fucking 5 years ago. You can find my. I mean, I'm not gonna dox myself, but
Right. Hey man, no, shout out, dude. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's cool.
I
Yeah,
mean,
your background is very interesting. so.
Yeah, we could go in a rabbit hole about hospital waiting times in Philadelphia, but we won't, because it's kind of tragic. But either way,
Yeah.
let's keep it moving. Then next question: when it comes to a theme park, are you an amusement park or a water park?
oh man, I'm gonna say water park nowadays in my old age. When
Yeah.
I was younger, definitely the theme park. But as I got like, I don't know, in my mid 20s, like the roller coasters would make me really dizzy.
Right.
So I just like, well, I can't really rock with them anymore. So if I was to choose, and I'm like not gonna go to Disneyland because it's like I want to go on a ride that's like seems intense. I'm not gonna do the fucking teacups. You know what I mean?
Right.
If I'm gonna get on a coaster, so
Yeah.
I guess I'll go water park. But I haven't been to either in a long time.
To be honest though, if you get on the teacups with like a terrorist, then you will get sick because they murder you.
Oh,
Yeah.
the control guy.
Yeah.
Was it-
Whoever's
Oh, I
like
think it was
does
the
the
actual
spinning
terrorist.
thing. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. I would puke everywhere.
I've had some horrible times on teacups. I
I'm
mean,
Yeah, that's meant like a real terrorist, and I'm like, So what? Just me and the terrorists are like just waiting in line for the teacups. Like, hey, can you get the next teacup? Like,
Yeah.
The old
Yeah,
teacup
They're
terrorist.
like, your teacup is gonna spin forever.
Yeah.
right.
All right. Yeah. No, you're. I mean, it's not. Water parks isn't the right answer, but it's fine.
No, and I get that. I have a disability that makes it so I have to go to the water park.
I mean, I personally think water parks are the right answer because that's what I answered.
I'm really swayed against the water parks because of the wave pool, because I don't want to swim in Band-Aids. You know what I mean? So it's
right.
Yeah, but then you just don't go in the wave pool. But I feel like I've talked to a few people who actually worked there as lifeguards, and they hated the wave pool because kids would always like drown.
Oh wow!
And they'd have to go save them because they would go all the way far out, and then the waves would start in those. Like, and I was a lifeguard; that was my first job, so it made sense to me. I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
You
like,
can relate.
I grew up in a town called Covina, and just down the way in San Dimas, there is a water park called Raging Waters.
Yeah.
And they had the thing, it was just called the Amazon, and it was just like a big ass pool that just like went around in a circle. Yeah. And that's vibes. Like as an adult now, like that would just be, you just post up, you know, with your friends or whatever, and you just like on that thing for a couple of hours. That'd be, I mean, I don't think you can drink alcohol there, but you know, you get the idea. So
right.
I mean, there are places that have swim up bars, so you can swim up to the bar and then you
there we go.
So
adult water park would probably be best.
Yes. That would be great.
That's a good idea for like if you had a water park where it's like just the biggest lazy river with a bunch of swim up bars, like
probably be, that'd be lit. That'd be lit.
I'm not gonna lie, I'd be okay with that. But okay. And then next question, you mentioned you're a gamer. Are you Xbox or are you PlayStation?
Oh, I mean, I do PC, but if I had to go with a console, it'd be Xbox for sure. I haven't had a PlayStation forever.
You're a smart guy.
Yeah, you are smart.
Halo,
so yeah.
Halo, Gears of War. There's this game called Viva Pinata. Oh my god, bro!
Pinata.
You ever played that game?
No.
So it's basically like it's hard to describe. It's like a farming game where all the animals are pinatas, and then you have to like do stuff with your little farm, and then they're like, oh, you have enough grass in your farm now. Now you get like a little worm pinata, and then you just kind of like go all the way up. That game is fucking sick. Same people that made Donkey Kong. Love that game.
All right, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, no, I'm an Xbox guy as well. But if you do PC, you're like a real gamer.
Yeah,
if you're on the PC, you're doing it for real.
Locked in. Yeah, playing World of Warcraft right now. So.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's a game that can take over your life.
Yeah.
100% has multiple times. What are you gonna do? You know.
Yeah.
What are you gonna...
I had a buddy who legit had to like rehab himself from World of Warcraft because it's like, well, like we would be at work, you know, and we work in like an office, and he legit would tell me, he's like, dude, I would get home after work every day. All I would just play World of Warcraft the whole time. And then he's like, on the weekends, I wouldn't go out, and I would legit play World of Warcraft the whole weekend.
That sounds lit.
I was like, it sounds like the best time ever. But you know, eventually you do have to go outside and do stuff. I guess.
Sure.
Yeah.
But But okay, next question, and this is the most important disputed question, and this will really decide the person you are for the rest of your life. So when it comes to eating wings, are you drums or are you flats?
I told y'all that you guys are gonna have to kick me out after that Godfather one. I'm not a big wing guy. And if I had to choose, I would go with the flats. And I'm gonna make it worse. I'm gonna make it a little bit worse. I'm assuming. I'm going with boneless.
Wow.
Yeah. Those are like adult chicken nuggets.
Yeah, they are. Well, okay. So my thing about the wings is like there's a mess to flavor ratio for me that I don't rock with. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Like the flavor's got to be crazy for me to rock with something that's gonna give me all mess, right? So I'll, like crab boils. Right, I'll do a crab boil because the flavor's worth it. Right. But with the wings, unless they're like actually good, like from Buffalo Wild Wings, like come on, man, like you know them shits was frozen. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know the mix was like in a big ass bottle this big, and they pour water in it. So like the mess to the flavor is just like it's just not worth it. So like at that point, I might as well just eat like a little chicken nugget.
Right. No.
So if I gotta leave, I understand. My bad.
No.
I get it.
Yeah, get out.
Cool.
No, I'm just joking.
We'll let you stay. It's fine. We get it. Honestly, you have a great explanation, and you're right. And I think there is parts of the country that take wings more seriously. I think pretty sure Ohio is pretty serious about their wings. Around here, they're
Okay.
very serious about their wings.
Yes.
Where
Yeah.
it's like, you know, like you wouldn't go to Buffalo Wild Wings to get good wings. Everybody knows.
Yes.
Oh,
So
no.
if there was a place that had good wings and I knew like, yo, they're serious about this shit, and then I would probably go with drumsticks. Just because, you know, yeah, I'm just like a drumstick kind of guy.
Is
So
you're
which
a
way? Are you flats or are you drumsticks? Because you said flats and then you said drumsticks.
Well, no. So again, it's flavor to mess ratio. I'm
Right.
willing to increase the mess if the flavor is going to match. So if this place is like serious about their wings,
Yeah.
I'm willing to do that. But if it's Buffalo Wild Wings, it's basically a chicken nugget. Then like give me the least mess possible, and I'll
Yeah.
rock with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
I don't know.
used
I'm
to-
very messy, so I
Yeah.
like
No.
mess.
Well, dirty girl chai, right?
Well, yeah.
Good
Yes.
callback. Nice.
Mhm.
All right. So I want to get into it a little bit. So,
Yes.
so like we said, you're an adult entertainer, right?
I am indeed.
An adult video star, but you didn't start out that way. You
No.
were a lawyer and a journalist. So,
Yes.
how was that getting into lawyering and journaling and all that stuff?
Yeah.
But so how did you get into the lawyer and journaling and all that stuff? And then what prompted you to leave that to become, you know, the star of stars?
Yeah. So journalism was first. I went to undergrad at UC Riverside. And I studied English, and I was like, well, I don't really know what the fuck I can do with an English degree. I figured there was
Sure.
3 options. There was you get a creative writing and you go like become an author. You get a PhD and you become a professor, or you
Right.
go to grad school and you become a journalist. So I was like, I asked some teachers like, what do you, which one pays the best? And they're like, oh, definitely journalism. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. I did no research. Got to journalism school in New York, and they're like, yeah, you're not gonna make any fucking money here. You got to be here for the love of the game. And I was like, what have I done? Like, what have I done? And so I did that, and it was actually really fun. It was really rewarding when I was first doing it, because I was doing like government accountability stuff, so like more on the investigative side.
Ooh, Nice.
Yeah. So I was doing a bit of that, and that's why I was doing the hospital wait times, because health was like sort of my beat, and I really knew how to work with data. So I was getting data from like the CDC and sort of manipulating it and figuring out like, oh, what are the trends? Like, what are the trends with nursing homes? What are that kind of stuff. And that was really rewarding. And I was able to talk to people who had really been hurt by the system and like figure out like what, they went through. And so that was really great. But that kind of dried up in terms of work opportunity. And I ended up working at a newswire called Reuters, and they were excellent. I did a lot of good stuff with them, but it was just very much grindstone. Like, we got to get like 3 stories a day out of you. Like, come on, like do this kind of shit. And that was fun in its own right, but I was doing it during Black Lives Matter.
Ooh.
And dog, like there's only so many stories you can write about like a Black person getting shot by the cops before. For me, I'm like, yo, I can't keep doing this, and feeling like I had to do like, oh, well, both sides, you got to listen to both sides. And I was like, for me, that's not honest, right? Like, that's not who I am. That's not how I feel.
Right.
So I was like, okay, well, then maybe what I should do is be a lawyer, because then I can really advocate super strong for one side that I actually believe in and do that.
Nice.
So I went that route. Came
Put
back to
your money
LA.
where your mouth was, really.
Yeah. Well, until I did an internship at a police misconduct firm, and I was like, I cannot fucking do this, man. Like the first day.
Yeah.
The first day they were like, so how do you feel about going to autopsies? And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then I was like, oh, right.
Oh.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah.
Not great,
Yeah.
Yeah, and the stories and the footage that you have to review it was basically the same kind of thing. Now, obviously, working for the families and trying to get justice for the families was a much different occupation than just writing about it, but it was still very challenging. So I ended up going into finishing law school, taking the bar, passing the bar, and going
Where
into
did you
housing.
go to law school at?
I went to law school at UCLA, and I went to journalism school at Columbia in New York.
Cool. Nice.
Oh wow.
And so I ended up going into housing discrimination and housing justice kind of stuff. I was working with folks trying to get evicted, or trying to stop them from getting evicted, trying to stop them from losing Section 8, harassment from lawyers. I was actually, there was a law passed by the LA City Council about tenant harassment, was basically barring it and making illegal for like X, Y, and Z things to happen if that'd be tenant harassment. I was one of the guys that was working on it, and I got quoted in the LA Times about it. I was like, oh, this is a new thing, like getting quoted, and so that was fun. It was cool to be on the other side of that interaction. And so that was really fun. I was enjoying it, but it was during COVID, so like I was winning everything, and I was like, fuck, man, this shit is easy. What the fuck y'all talking about? Like but the protections were so strong in the city and the county that you basically couldn't lose as a tenants' rights lawyer. And as that was sort of drying up, I was like, damn, like, so I'm gonna have to start looking at these families in the eye and being like, you're on the fucking street. Like, I'm sorry, I wasn't good enough, you know? And at the same time, I was living with my brother, and he has like some immunocompromised, situation with his health.
Yeah.
And so they were like, oh, and we're coming back to the office. And I was like, I'm fucking not. I'm not doing that. And it was funny too, because it was before the Omicron surge. It was like in September, like, all right, we're coming back to the office. And I was like, fuck that, I'm not, because I don't know. Yeah, right. It was like after the vaccines came out in like March or April.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, September, everything seems like it's going okay. Like, we're going to come back to the office. And I was like, I don't know where this shit's going. Like, we basically just started this pandemic. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the Omicron surge happened after I quit. And I was like, well, that was a good idea not to go back. During the Omicron surge, I did a part-time thing as a COVID tester. So maybe that wasn't the smartest thing in the world to do, but that's for, a different story. But basically I was just like, I was like, porn is something I always wanted to do when I was a kid. Like, I was like, you can have sex with the hottest people in the world and get paid for it? Like, what are you talking about? Right. Like, that's an actual thing you can do, but it didn't seem realistic. I didn't think that was an actual way to do it. But I met some people who are in the industry. And so I was seeing them do it, and I was like, oh, well, like, you can do it. There's like different ways to sort of get into it and get out of it. And during COVID, I'm polyamorous, and so I had like a bunch of partners. I had 5 partners like going into COVID, came out with 1, But so I was just like taking nudes, and we were just like sexting each other and shit. And I was like, man, I got all this content. I can just put it online and see what happens, So I started doing that, and that was like, I think April 2021, of just like the worst grainy dick pics you've ever seen in your life. Like no lighting. And like right here, I'm like, oh, let me make sure that the lights are right, make sure that there's no shadow. And back then it was just like, I got a dick if you want to see it,
legit though, like, how many times have you like taken a nude or a pic for someone, and legit it takes like 400 pics to get the one you want? You're like,
there's the science to dick pics.
Yes, now. Yeah, and apparently there was actually, what was it? It was like Rate My Dick Pic. And this was when I was still in journalism, if I recall. Maybe I was a lawyer, I don't remember. But it was like, there was this journalist, kind of like cultural critic, and she made a website called like Rate My Dick Pic. And they would actually just go in and be like, lighting was awful, composition was awful. And I was like, oh, there's actual levels to this shit. So I think mine are pretty decent. Yeah. You can go to my OnlyFans. No, but so I had a bunch of content, and I was like, putting it out there to see, what stuck. And then, it was basically just about like, finding people to work with. And I think once that ball started rolling, of like, okay, I've worked with her, like, this girl I know, and you're cool. So like, why don't you work with her? And just kind of like building that up until, my first year in the industry, I got a nomination for Male Porn Star of the Year, cisgender male porn star of the year at the Transgender Erotic Award, Tease. So I didn't win. I lost to a guy named Chris Epic, who honestly, that motherfucker deserved it. That fool's putting in work. Like, I'd see this motherfucker all up and down my timeline. So shout out Chris Epic. And then this year got nominated for 3 Fleshbot Awards so far. The Tease, XBiz, and AVN haven't come out with nominations, but I imagine I'll get a few.
Nice, dude.
There, so yeah.
Dude, that's awesome, man. Congrats. I'll tell you, I think we all know, like, the content creation game, people really have like the wrong idea about how this shit works, where it's like they think like, all right, I'm gonna take one pic or make one video, I'm gonna put it out there, and then bam, I'm a famous person. Not even close. I told somebody, like, someone asked me, like, dude, like, what, like, they talked about like getting into, I was like, all right, are you willing to put out 10,000 videos without any monetary, like, like, are you willing to do that? Because that probably won't even be enough. Just let you know.
Right.
It's a lot of videos. It's a lot of.
Yeah, and I think especially for a guy, I think, and this isn't in any kind of like slight, I think the industry is set up primarily because of both the audience and the way the industry is sort of structured. It sort of there's a very, I don't want to say easy, but there's a more direct pathway for women, because there's like, okay, you post, you start to get a little bit of notoriety, the agencies and studios see you, they give you your first round of sort of like exposure, then you can kind of like go off from there. I think that's a track that a lot of girls take. But for guys, it's like, it's very different. And it makes sense, right? Because it's like, one, if you're a straight guy, who the fuck is your market, right? Like,
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Because,
No.
like the straight dudes want to talk to the girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they don't want to fucking talk to you. And then the gay guys are more like that. The gay audience is where you're actually gonna make money. But if you're making straight content, there's not as much crossover, right?
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of
Yes.
things that people don't understand, especially males, is like if you want to make money, you have to do. It has to be a lot of solo stuff, and there has to be content that's engaging to a gay audience. It's not just like naked pictures that you would send to your girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's pretty challenging. And then you're just never going to make as much money. Well, not never is strong, but it's a much less likely to make the same kind of money that the top OnlyFans girls are making as a guy, because it's just like, customs and sexting and sort of like the direct one-on-one is where a lot of the money comes from. And so there's just a much bigger audience of straight male porn consumers than gay male porn consumers, right? It's just like numbers wise. So it's hard to get that scale. Which is why a lot of like male performers do like directing or agency work or whatever, like do other shit to make that kind of money. But yeah, it's fucking hard, man. Like it is not easy to do this shit. And it's like getting money and getting sort of built and being established as a male performer is fairly difficult.
I mean, but you've been pretty like, fortunate to have kind of I wouldn't say meteoric, but like you've been rose pretty quickly. Like I would say faster than normal, especially for a male talent, right?
Yeah. I think, I think it doesn't hurt that my first scene was with Jessie Dubai. I just and so if anybody doesn't know, she's like, amazing. She's a legend in space, one of the biggest names. And I was just on like one of the dating apps, and this was before I started porn. And I just saw her. I was like, "There's no way you're fucking real." And she was like, "Yeah." And so we're talking for a little bit, and she was like, "I'm in town. Like, if you're tested and open to shooting," because I was talking about wanting to get in the industry. She's like, "Yeah, like why not? Like let's just whatever." And so we did, and like we hit it off, and the scene went really well. And I was like, "Damn, if I could work with Jessie Dubai, I could work with fucking anybody." And I think just having that kind of like, when I'm not marketing, but like introducing myself to other performers, I'm like, well, I worked with her, and, I think she'd be a good reference. Because like, I will say, I think one of the things that like would help male creators do a lot better is like just being nice. Like just don't be a fucking creep.
It's funny you mentioned that, because we've had like, like some of the adult actresses that we've talked to on the show are like, if a guy's just like we've talked about, say if a guy's having trouble getting it up for a scene, like 90% of the time the answer is like, if he's not a like total cunt bag, I'll help him. Right. But they're like, if he's a douche, then he can go fuck himself. And I'm like, oh, okay. So just kind of be a nice guy.
Right? The line. It's like, do you do stuff off camera to help the guys, or do you only do it when it's rolling? Because technically you're only supposed to do it when the camera's rolling.
Right.
Well,
right.
It depends on the like the coordination that you guys have had. Because sometimes, if you say, hey, are you open to this like off camera? I don't usually do that, because it's like, why would I do that? Usually what I do is I just leave the cameras rolling anyways. Because, I mean, this is fucking show business, right? Like, you're not getting every single second of content that we film, right? Like, you're getting good shit. So I just leave it all rolling, just because, like, one, if there's anything that comes from that's hot that I wouldn't have originally thought of, like, oh, actually, that was really hot, I want to keep that, for like a little, for a trailer or for like a little promo, I wouldn't have thought to shoot that, but now we have it, so might as well. And then also just because like I want to make sure that the environment is entirely professional, right? Like this isn't a fucking hookup. This isn't, I messaged you on Tinder and we're hooking up. This is fucking work, right? Like this is business. So typically that's what I do, is I just keep at least one camera rolling the whole time. And that's worked pretty well for me. But I just think that like a lot of guys would do better if it's like, okay, first of all, take a second and think about your lighting for your solo stuff. Like, just take it seriously. And I get this question all the fucking time. I'm trying to like charge consulting fees, because I literally get this question like 3 or 4 times a week. Like, how can I break in? And then don't be a fucking weirdo and recognize, you know what I'm saying? Like, and recognize that no one owes you anything. Like, even if you think like, oh, I got the biggest dick or I got the nicest abs. First of all, somebody's got a bigger dick than you. Dread. All right. I don't know what the fuck that guy's like, how he did that, but like, there's somebody with a bigger dick, I assure you. And there's somebody with a, sorry, what was that?
Or how it functions when it's hard. Like,
exactly, right?
Yeah.
And somebody's always got a better physique than you. Like that's not what creators give a shit about.
Right.
And so it's like they don't owe you anything. They're doing this as a business. And so for them, they're like, well, what is the benefit of me working with this guy who's untested, right? Like we don't know if he's actually able to get hard and do anything. Not only get hard, but like perform in a way that's like conducive for her to sell fucking videos.
Right.
And so for them, it's a business. And for us, it should be a business too. And so figuring out like, okay, well, if they say no, that's not a reflection of me as a human being, and I'm not going to lash out. It's just like, oh, that as a business opportunity didn't work. Let me go find the next one, right? Yeah. And I think that dudes just don't get this, and they don't get this in like dating, which is why fucking Andrew Tate, is such a big name. And it's like, dog, just don't be weird. I promise you, just don't be weird.
The biggest thing is like, you want everyone to feel comfortable and respected. Yes. And guess what? Yes. See, I mean, you'll be amazed at how successful you'll be.
Exactly. And the videos are going to look better because if the girl's looking like, ugh, like get away from me, then like, who wants to buy that video? You know what I'm saying?
Plus, too, I assume, like, Ray, you'd probably know this better, but I assume, too, like, when a girl goes into a shoot, like, she knows the angles she looks best at. She knows, like, what she does well on camera. She knows, like, this is my time to shine in this video. So, literally, like, that's kind of what they want you for. Like, hey, you be able to provide what I need to be able to do this, and we're going to get along famously. Right? Like, is that kind of...
It depends.
Every time I do a shoot, like, I choreograph, I pick all the positions. I know everything beforehand. I even know how the cum is going to be used. I'm like, this is how you're going to come.
Okay, so you definitely have a good insight on this as well.
Ray is known as the queen of the gangbang.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like gangbangs, and so that's like my thing.
Do I have to like kneel to the queen, or like what?
We all probably bow.
I did get a print commissioned where I look like the queen, and these nights are fucking me, and it's pretty hot. So
right.
Oh, shout out. All right.
I find like some girls are very much like, okay, these are like the angles that I want. These are the positions that I want. And this. So I worked with Dana DeArmond, and working with her, I was like, oh, she a pro. Like. She knows exactly what she wants. She knows exactly where she wants it and like how to do it. And that like the way that the video looked was really, really dope. I really liked how it looked. And it's fun. And she's a cool person, so I like enjoy it. But sometimes girls are more like, oh, I'm so glad that you actually thought about angles, because usually if I'm working with a guy, it's just like we got one tripod and that's fucking it, And so for me, like I have a few signature things that I like to do. Well, it's not signature exactly, but like POV, I have this like little handheld rig. So POV blowjob, I think that always looks good.
Yeah.
And then there's one where I like doing like a doggy position, and then the camera like really close on the girl's face. So like I'm basically cut off from here, and then you just see the girl's face. And so those are like two angles that I really like. And so I'm always like, okay, how can I get these two angles in whatever situation we're shooting in? And then also trying to figure out, being able to see penetration from a still angle and like all that kind of stuff. So for me, in my head, I'm always like, okay, what are the angles that I need to hit, and where do I need the lighting to get it? And sometimes girls are very happy. They're like, oh, I'm so glad that like you knew what the fuck you were doing, and it wasn't just like, you holding a fucking iPhone going,
honestly, Andre, like listening to you say that too, you really do have it from like a man's point of view in a way where it's like, it's like, a lot of people will get like, if it's a doggy style shoot, they'll get the from the behind shot, which is fine, but like you want the almost like the woman's face to do the acting as well, where it's like when you're behind her and you're getting the you behind with their face, and then they can do like the pain pleasure face and all that kind of stuff. Like that's the kind of shit that gets, what I mean? Like that's actually, I mean, hey, shout out to you. You've watched porn before, haven't you?
No, like it's way easier to shoot a scene. Let's say we're doing a boy, girl, and whatever it is. Right. Now you already know how to position, and how to turn your body, and like it's hard to work with new talent, especially male talent that doesn't know, or they'll cross the shot with hands and stuff. So
we get there.
It's great that you know all of that stuff, and it brings a lot, makes it a lot easier.
With new guys, I see a lot of this, just like floating hand. I'm like, bro, put that on something. What the fuck are you doing?
And it's like that you can't see anything. Like literally, my videographer would be like, I can't see anything. Like, what are you doing? You're wasting my time. Like,
because porn is not sex. Right? No. It's like, it's a very specific thing where it's like we're engaging in intercourse in some fashion that is always exposing the entire body to one angle.
Yeah.
That's just not how sex works at
Yeah.
all. And
Making
so
love
dudes
to
are using their hands and
camera.
like, and it's like, bro, you have to actually open up, move your fucking hand to the side. Like this is not, it's you know, and then to your point, Matt, like I'll do the behind the you know, the sort of doggy POV, but always whenever I'm doing that, I'm always like, all right, look back at it and do a slow pan up to the face.
I love that. That's
you know what I'm
fantastic.
saying? Like,
yeah.
Some girls, like, their ass is like, that's their selling point. That's but always the girls are hot.
Right.
So you want to see the face, right? Like it's not that's the point.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah,
I'm pretty deliberate with my angles, and I think a lot of guys don't recognize, one, that angles matter.
Yeah.
Two, that lighting matters, and three, that body position matters, and that your dick is gonna have to work in all these different positions, right? And doing all this different shit, and it's like not always easy, especially if you're like in a space that's uncomfortable, or working with somebody that's, you know, that you haven't met before, if you feel like a lot of pressure in your head and shit. So you know, it's I think a lot of guys really overestimate how easy it is to do this.
Yeah, it's very difficult, especially in the male talent. Like I value them because I'm like, you have to do all of this work, and it's hot, and there are other dicks around, and there's just all this stuff involved. Like a lot of us as women, you just put lube on it. It's fine.
Right.
So
no, I can't imagine like I guarantee every guy once in their life has been like, oh, I would love to be a porn star and all this stuff, but they know it. Like you don't know until the camera's on and the lights are on. You don't know if you've got it or you don't, and that's a true thing. That's legit. Like you have to be born with it or you don't. Like there's no in between. You know what I mean? Like you could have a monster, but if you can't get it up when the lights are on and the camera's rolling, then bro, sorry, it ain't gonna fucking work.
You have to come on command. Like
and for me, the coming is always the hardest part. Like it's something that I've gotten more and more comfortable with as I've done it more. But I remember the first time I was just like, it's so fucking funny. Somebody tweeted some shit like, I can't believe it was on Twitter. They're like, being a porn star is crazy because your boss is gonna be like, I need that cum shot on my desk at 5 p.m. sharp. And it's literally like that, right? Because it's like, you've been doing all this whole time, like trying to hold it back because the girl's hot or whatever. And then they're like, okay, come. And then it's just some dude.
Right next to your,
And you can hear his breath. He's like, all right, come. Right?
Just like that. But it's me being like, you need to come now. Like
and the girl's just like
she's just like, come on. Well, hopefully she gives you some encouragement, like some like vocalization and stuff.
And so it's like that for me has always been the more challenging part. I mean, I think I've gotten better at it over time, but just like you kind of got to get into your headspace. And this is something I've noticed too about porn, is like it's not about the people that you're with. Like even it's like you have to find this space in your head to perform. And so for the, you know, the cum shot, which is like, you know, the most important part, which I'm not sure if that's true. I think it's true. I think there's just like some stuff that you get passed down in the industry, like, oh, the cum shot's like whatever. But it's like, it's not really about, for me, a lot of the times, the girl in that moment in the scene. It's like, what can I find in my head to get me to where I need to be, like on demand, basically. This shit is not sex.
I think
one last thing I'll say about the coming is like, so I don't eat a lot before scenes because I don't want it sloshing around and shit.
Right.
And I take creatine for like muscle growth and stuff like that. And so it draws a lot of water out. And so I can cramp up pretty easily. And there's been multiple fucking times where like I finally get the cum shot in the scene and my entire fucking body is cramped. And I'm like, but I can't react because this is what I'm getting paid for. So I'm just like, oh, whatever. And my entire body is like fucking cramping up. And I'm like, oh my God, this job, dude. So much.
Dude.
Anyway, sorry.
That's tough.
It is tough.
You know, those roofers up there think they got it tough. I don't think they ever got a Charlie horse in the middle of a blowy, you know, like, come on. So I want to keep it moving, man. This has been great so far, but I want to keep it moving. Ray, we're going to get into peg talk, Ray style. So go ahead, take it away. Andre, Ray here is going to ask you some questions. It's going to be a lot of fun. So go ahead, Ray.
Do you have to do the song?
Oh, yeah. God, what the fuck is the song?
It's
Oh,
the
Folgers. Okay.
Yeah.
The best part of peg talk is a plastic dick in your butt, All right.
Nice,
So
nice.
this is
Good.
Peg Talk with Ray Ray. Go ahead, Ray Ray.
Awesome. So like I said, this is my first time doing this, so hopefully it's good.
Killing it.
So I've always wanted to ask people questions, but what is your guilty pleasure kink? Like, what is something that you secretly like that you like wouldn't be fully open about? Like, it can be weird, it can be not
Yeah.
weird.
I think so. You know how they always say shit like, oh, like if somebody's like super homophobic, they're projecting.
Right.
Mhm.
So I was like very anti-furry. I was like, nah, man. Nah, that shit's fucking weird. I don't rock with that. I don't rock with that at all. That I'm a kink shame that. Yeah, fuck that. You know, I was very anti-furry. But then like I don't remember when it was. I saw like somebody like a girl with like the kitty ears.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I like that a lot actually.
You want them to wear ears? Is that,
Keep it
is
chill,
that
but I
done
like that one a
for
lot. Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Yes, like, now that you
What
mention
about
it,
Right.
like the butt plugs that have like tails and
See,
stuff?
and yeah, and so it goes down a
Yeah.
list, right? You go down a rabbit hole, as it were. And so it's like, yeah, I like the ears, and then it's like, oh, they have the little socks with the paws. Yeah, I like that. Okay, yeah, I like that. And then there's a butt plug with a tail. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm like slowly building up to the full suit. Like, I don't think I could do the mask because like the girl's not like that's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
But I was like, damn, man, like, fuck, like, I guess that. So I call myself furry adjacent at this point. I'm not all in,
Yeah.
but it's getting there.
Yeah,
Hey,
I mean, it's so
shout
interesting
out.
meeting so many different people who like different things, and like your world is like broadened just by all these different things. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Furries need
Yeah,
love
there's
too.
yeah, and there's like this one because like I cam a lot now, and so you obviously have to watch something to like get hard for 4 hours. And there's this one where this girl is like in a like a leopard print thing with the cat ears and all this, and then comes and then like licks the and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is crazy.
It's funny.
This is fucking
Yeah.
crazy. What the
Hey
fuck
man,
is
I
going
get it.
on?
Hey, I'm with
So-
you, pal. I'm right
Yeah.
there with you, buddy.
Right?
I get it.
I mean,
Yeah. So now I'm
that
gonna go even harder on the furry population. Like, no, we gotta get them out of here.
yeah, gotta get the
We're
furry.
get legislation passed.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I just met a company at Exotica. They actually make the butt plugs, but they
Oh,
make them
nice.
differently. So they have an attachment where it actually like moves out, so it's not straight next to your body. So it actually looks like a
Okay.
tail. They're
Oh.
Tales of Fantasy. They're really, really cool. They gave me a
What's-
free bunny plug.
For a friend, what's their at on Twitter? Just for
I can send it to you after. Tales of Fantasy. If you look them up, their
I
website.
like the name. I
Love
like
it.
the name.
Yeah, it's good.
Nice. That's great.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
my bad, but that's
No.
me.
Yeah,
No, that's
no,
a
it's
great one.
okay.
No. they're
I only
good.
met them one time, so I was very
Dude,
busy.
there's like, I mean, as long as it's all legal, there's really no bad.
Right, right.
It's all fun.
Yeah.
It's all.
And I was
fun.
about to go, oh, but and then it's like, actually, that's not a funny joke to make. So let's skip that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
not good at all.
Yeah. So, all right, let's go ahead, Ray Ray.
All right. So, what is something you dislike sexually? Like, what is like the thing that turns you off?
Okay, so writing, but very specifically, when the girl is going
Ugh.
like that on top.
Okay.
I think for the girl, they're trying to recreate the intense penetration that you get in like doggy or whatever.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm like, if I slip out
Oh.
and like, so the whole time I'm
yeah.
just, I don't know, like you may be able to notice it in my videos. I'm not sure because I haven't like watched all of them like very closely for this specific thing, but you'll see like I kind of like raise my pelvis up to be closer to the girl, and then you'll see my body tensing because I'm like, please don't break my dick. Like,
Don't
please,
break my
Yeah.
dick. Yeah.
Yeah.
please
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
that- it looks really good though on camera. Like if you capture it from the back, like if you actually have a good videographer who can get the
Yes.
angles and everything, it looks
So
amazing
usually-
on camera.
So what I'll usually tell the girl is like, okay, let me do it. Like because I know like I'm not gonna break my own dick. So like let me do it. And then
Mhm.
we're still gonna get the same sort of intensity of it.
Yeah.
But I don't have to worry about it, right? Or just don't go that intense. Like the grinding is very good for me. Or just kind of like, like at a steady clip of doing it. And then I'm like, all right, now let me take over and really,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm
that
mindful of the
pogo stick
balls
shit,
in
I'm
that
like,
situation. No,
oh
I
my
hear you.
fucking God.
Nothing worse than like a railroad jam. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, dude. Ugh, even thinking
Yeah.
And
about it.
I do a lot of VR scenes where basically I'm just like this, like I'm just immobile, and then the girl's like going to work, and I'm just like, please don't. Like this is my job, like this is my
Yeah.
career.
Do you
Don't break this.
when you're working out, Andre, do you do a lot of things that focus on like the core because of like, I guess like the hump motion that you have to do, or
No, I do some core exercises, and on leg day, which I skip most of the time because I just don't like it. I'll
Right.
do the glute ham bridge, which is
Right.
nice. Like I feel like such a slut at the gym doing that one because it's like not only am I just like doing this, but like if they ask like, oh, what do you do for work? I'm like, yeah, I'm a porn star. You know, just, you know what I mean? So yeah, I feel bad with that. But no, I found recently that actually what I need to start doing is high intensity cardio.
Mhm.
That's what actually, because I'll do like 5 minutes of like whatever they need me to do, and I'm gassed.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, I think like all the muscle building, I think I'm in a good place with.
Yeah.
I really got to just do the high intensity. And I did the other day, I had like a little at home DIY like high intensity interval training.
Ooh.
That shit was fucking pathetic, man. That was so bad.
Yeah.
Everything was sore the next day. My feet were
hurts,
sore. Yeah. So
Yeah. Well, hey,
Yeah.
you can only get stronger from there.
that's right. Right.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, go ahead. Keep it going, Ray Ray.
Let's see. What is your favorite kind of content to make? Like, if you were gonna make content, what would you make?
Cosplay.
Okay.
Cosplay.
Cosplay
It's
stuff. I think
hard
cosplay.
to do. Like, I just did an Inside Out scene, so we recreated Pixar Inside Out.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Cosplayed
Nice.
and I decorated the entire room and everything. It's very difficult to actually do those scenes justice. So, like, do you do them 100%, or you just do it?
So far, just kind of like the girl dressing up. I did one where is with Brittany Cade, I was Sub-Zero and she was like
Oh,
Melina or something like that. And that was the first time I dressed up. I was like, oh, that's
Katana.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's cool. Like it's
That
not
is
something I've done
cool.
before, but
Mhm.
Sub-Zero's badass too. That's a
yeah,
good one
no,
to do.
Sub-Zero's the best. I don't know if this is one did you want to add to the questions in the beginning, but who's the best guy from fucking Mortal Kombat? It's either Jax or Sub-Zero.
Oh,
Jax
I
with
love
giant fucking metal
Yeah.
arm- Giant metal arm black dude. Like, yeah,
With
that's
the
sick.
uppercut. Oh, his uppercut was the best.
His
He just got like some spandex.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's go, dude.
I
Or
mean,
Sub-Zero.
I want to do Mortal Kombat at some point. I want to be Sonya Blade because I was in the military.
Oh,
so
nice.
it makes sense.
Ray also did a
yeah.
full rendition of The Breakfast Club.
I
with-
did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Nice,
which
nice.
was really fun. I really enjoyed it. I also did a scene at Exotica where it was cowboys versus robots. So I dressed like a robot.
Oh, that's fun.
And I
That's
talked like a robot the whole time. So when the guy comes, I'm like collecting for research.
No, nice.
It was really funny. It was a really funny scene.
I have one scene that I'm gonna do at some point. Me and my girlfriend Domino are gonna do it. And it's gonna be
just so everyone knows, when he says girlfriend Domino, he means Domino Presley, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, where we're gonna do I just know that I need to do it. I'm gonna be Obama.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna stay in character the entire time. So let me be clear.
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat that pussy up.
Oh my god.
Time. I haven't figured out exactly what it's gonna look like, but that's like when I'm gonna dress up.
If
I
she
want
could
to
be,
get
I mean, she's
Mhm.
dark haired, right? She's a brunette or black. Oh man, I was gonna say she put on a blonde wig and was and could be Hillary.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Give her a pantsuit and you're Obama and she's Hillary. But
Yeah.
Oh my
that'd be the
God.
best.
I mean, are like sets in LA that have like lawyer offices and kind of like
Yes.
that similar vibe. So you could be
I
able
was thinking about getting. I want to look around. There's like a website called Gigster, which does that kind of stuff. And so I want to look for like an Oval Office set, and I want to find this is like a throwback to journalism. The tan suit. So there was like the biggest fucking controversy. Well, there's a lot of really bad controversy with him. But the one that Fox actually focused on was that he wore a tan suit one time instead of like a black or a gray suit. And so there's like a throwback because it was like you have to be very in the weeds of like watching news all the time to know it. But like, yeah, it's stupid. It was like, well, who fucking cares, right? But it was like, whatever. That's like what they're
I'm sure he's wearing a bathing suit sometimes too. I mean, what the fuck? Who cares? Right?
Exactly.
Like, Christ. But,
so I want to get a tan suit, but
Nice.
yeah, so that's how we want to play it out.
You could also do. I mean, she's got dark hair. She could be like, if you wanted to throw back to Monica Lewinsky or something, like like
I don't want to give away all the sauce because we have some ideas about how.
Yeah. No,
But
I love that.
That's gonna be one that I dress up for.
That's
and we
awesome.
actually have a couple costumes that we want to do something fun with. And we have like a Star Trek one and some other stuff.
Oh shit. You could be what's the dude's name from Star Trek with the glasses?
I got the visor. Geordie LaForge.
Yep.
And I'm a huge Star Trek nerd, so I'm gonna get fucking in character. I'm gonna be like, we gotta fucking.
Wasn't that the same? Wasn't he on Reading Rainbow too?
He was on Reading Rainbow. He was on Roots. He was on. He's a really good actor. He's a really good actor.
I forget his name. I think it's like LeVar Burton. That's what it is. Yeah. Yep. Damn! Shout out to him. Nice. All right.
He's like Black Mr. Rogers. So like for all like black kids growing up, like, he's my dad.
Yes.
Oh yeah, dude. Reading Rainbow was the shit. Let's not get it twisted. You know.
Yeah. No,
shout out LeVar Burton, fan of the show, listener of the show. Love it.
LeVar Burton should have. One last thing I'll say on LeVar Burton, he should have got the fucking Jeopardy role when Alex Trebek, rest in peace, passed away. But they went with the other guy. And I was like, dude, fuck that. It should have been LeVar Burton.
I didn't know he was up for it. I would love for LeVar Burton to be there.
That's what I'm saying. And then they gave it to some bum.
I don't even know who the guy they replaced him with is.
I don't remember. I think it's Ken Jennings now who's like good enough, but they picked with somebody. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. So all right. Yeah. Shout out. Yeah. Nice. Go ahead, Ray. What do you got there?
So what's something like sexually you haven't done that you've wanted to do? Like
and I was planning on doing this earlier in the year, that I was going to have this as my birthday blow. I want to get gangbanged.
Okay.
Yeah. So I want like, maybe not go crazy. It'd be my first time, but I do like bottoming and I do like sucking dick. So like, I want to do like a 3 or 4 girl or guy gangbang.
It's really great. Both
like girl with strap-on gangbang.
Yeah.
Either cis girl with strap on, trans girl, or I'm actually, I'm into like feminine guys, so like twinks, femboy, stuff like that. So anything that I'm attracted to, probably not you, Matt. I want to give you the invite. Sorry.
It's all right, pal. I mean, you can't see it, but under the shirt, I'm covered in hair, so I'd fit under the furry demographic. But
yeah. I mean, if you ever want, I've done a lot of gangbangs. I've done 70.
Shit!
So I've done a lot. So if you ever want some advice about any of it,
she knows all the tricks.
Right.
I know a lot of tricks. I've taken a lot of dick.
So would you like, do you have like an idea of how you'd shoot the scene? Like, would it be like a forceful one, or would it be like you wanting it and telling them like, hey, you're not going to pay the rent this week, you're going to bang me or whatever? Like, do you have an idea of what you would do?
No, I haven't thought about how I want the scene to actually play out.
Can I say this is that we've talked to a few girls on this show, and when we explain to them the American History X scene, right, they all are into it. So I mean, take that for what it is.
I have not seen American History X.
Oh, well, a guy gets raped in prison. So.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Edward Norton does.
Yeah.
One of our co-hosts has been flicking her bean to that for years. So
I like CNC. Like, I have a fantasy of being abducted and then just
right.
So
I've never I don't know, like, I think it depends, because like 95% of my content and the sex that I have, like, I'm top, and anywhere from like dominant to just sort of like regular top, like it kind of depends, but like there's a switch that gets flipped very quickly for me when I bottom. So like I don't really know. So like I did one scene, actually the first time that I ever subbed in my life was on camera for Kink. It was with a performer named Casey K, and she was the top and I was the bottom, and she beat the shit out of me. And, all of the impact stuff was crazy. But then, like, once we got into the sex, I was like, okay, like this is something I feel more comfortable because I bottomed before plenty of times. Yeah. And so it's really like I kind of play off the energy of the top. Like, if they want to be more sensual, then that's the mode that I'm going to be in. If they want to be more forceful, then that's the mode that I'm going to be in. Like, once I start once something gets in my ass, like, I just, whatever you say. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have a type of guy that you're attracted to that like you would be like, I want to be his bottom? Like if you saw some guy, like a specific type, or does it have to, depend? Saying, like, if you saw like, for instance, like, I don't know, like if you saw like a football player, jacked guy or whatever.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. So I'm like, so like I'm not attracted to masculine. So okay, so the word for it is called genophilic or genosexual, which basically means attracted to femininity. So masculinity, I'm not into it at all.
Right.
But I don't care about gender. Like gender is irrelevant to me in terms of attraction.
So like Rob Lowe.
Oh, is that what he does too?
No. I'm saying like he's like the most attractive man like ever.
Or
Yeah.
like, well, I don't know. I like Ryan Reynolds.
Okay, yeah,
I mean,
I look at them and I'm like, they're attractive men, but I don't feel any attraction. Like I can recognize that they're objectively attractive, but they don't do anything for me. But that
you're saying like a man with feminine type of features in a way.
Yeah.
I see.
You know Troye Sivan?
Dude, I just watched Timothy Chalamet hosted SNL last night, and they did a gimmick like a skit about Troye Sivan, and I was like, who the hell is this guy? And I looked him up, and I was like, oh, this is hilarious. You know what I mean? But dude, now I 100,000% see exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
Tom Holland when he did that umbrella.
Oh my gosh, totally.
And the funny thing for me that I've noticed is that like femininity and masculinity are really just about presentation and affect, right? And it's like if it became cool for men to be feminine, I would be gay. Like I would be pansexual, right? It's just that there's such a small percentage of men who are feminine that for me, like I don't even feel like saying bi is accurate because most men aren't feminine, don't act that way, and don't present that way. So I'm not attracted to them at all. But if things change and it was like, okay, well now it's actually cool for guys to be super feminine, I'd be pansexual. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a weird kind of thing that I think is like cultural, but you know, that's what does it for me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, dude, I'm with you. There's like, even if honestly, this isn't the first time, like I know, like I feel like now maybe it's a little more popular for like the man to be feminine. But if you look back in like the 80s when those rock guys are all dressing with like the big hair and the makeup and like you look at Motley Crue, you're like, all right, dude, you guys want to be chicks. Like we get it, you know, like there's nothing wrong with it. But nah, man, dude, you know, there's like beauty is so subjective in any type of form. You know what I mean? And like attraction is a weird thing. You know, like it's weird in a way. It's like you don't know what you're attracted to until you know. Exactly. Yeah. You could think like, oh, I'm just gonna like pussy and all this, whatever. But then like you see something, you're like, damn, like I fucking want a piece of that cake. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know. You don't know.
Yeah. I think the not to belabor it, but the first time that I realized that I wasn't straight was in high school. I had a friend. We would like trade anime and manga and stuff to read, and you know she was like, hey, there's like this thing you should read, and I was like, cool. And so it was like about high schools, and it was like, all right, there's a high school, regular high school, and then a vampire. It's all boys high school, and a vampire comes, and so the main character and the vampire they're like going back and forth, and then it comes to the point where like it's just them alone in the room, and like he goes in, and I'm like, oh shit, he's about to bite, and he's about to turn into a vampire, and then they kiss. And I was like, okay.
I like that. Yeah.
Up to that point, I had never had any interest that I thought. I was like, but I want to see what happens next now, you know? And then for the longest time, I was like, well, I can't be gay because Arnold Schwarzenegger is not attractive to me. So I don't know what the fuck that was, but I'm not gay. I'm straight. I'm moving on. And so it wasn't for a long time where I actually started to explore my sexuality. But like, if you don't know it and there's no language for it, cultural or personal, then it's like, what the fuck is my, you know? Orientation until I found the word genophilic like years and years later, and I was like, oh, that's what I am. That's what this is. But anyways,
that's interesting. It's really cool for you to talk about that, and like because I feel like a lot of guys, like I've done scenes like with trans and bi guys, and it's really hard to find like a bi guy who will do both in the industry. It was very difficult for me to hire talent for that. So I really enjoy you talking about it because normalizing it is great. So
and I'm just like, what should I feel bad about fucking hot girls? Like, I can't wrap my head around it. I'm just like,
no,
my bad, dude.
No, there's nothing wrong with liking what you like as long as it's, you know, healthy, legal, and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with that, and you should be allowed to explore it. You know, it's not like you're out there like in public being like, I want to see everyone's dick and whatever, like all this stuff. Like none of people that I think that's like, you know, I don't know. We don't want to get into that discussion because, you know, it goes down like a dirty road. But no, man, it takes a lot of things too. Like one of the things I think that the internet is very beneficial is that if this is 20 years ago, there's no avenue for you to even discover that. You know what I mean? Like now that there's like this avenue for you to find that with the internet and being like, discovering all these different things that, oh, I didn't know I would like this, and I really do, and this is where you want to go, and this is the kind of things you want to do, and finding the people that you can participate in doing that with, and being like, like getting into that sphere is so like available now, where back then I don't think it was there. And
Well,
really,
no, I mean,
a lot of people had to hide,
there's definitely been trans people forever, and there's
Right.
been gay people forever, and queer people forever, and it's like queer community. So I think it is easier to find, especially like if you're not in fucking LA. Well, it's shit, man. I've been trying to find a twink to shoot with in West Hollywood forever, so I don't even know if I'm in the right fucking town. But
Right.
if you're outside of the major sort of metro areas, then yeah, I think it can be hard to even figure out that that's real, and the internet has benefit. But I mean, there's been trans folks forever, and there's been queer folks and queer communities forever.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. But yeah, and for me, it's like I hear people say shit like that, like, oh, I'm happy that you love and are open and so proud about it. It's like, what is there to be not proud of?
Yeah.
Like, my girlfriend is out of my league, and I'm trying to keep that shit cool so that she doesn't realize it, right? Sound like I'm just trying to make sure she doesn't like, hey, wake up one day, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, to me, it doesn't register. It's like, it's not an actual thing. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And I feel like in 10 years, as folks sort of like get over the hysteria that Republicans are pushing or whatever, it's like, I think we'll be in a better place. Because before, it wasn't, people didn't think this way about shit, right? Because like, you could go on as like Kiss or anybody just dressed up in full drag, and nobody was saying, oh, we got to ban Kiss from fucking Detroit or whatever.
They kind of were.
For different reasons.
Right.
They're like, oh, we're talking too much about sex, not like they're dressing up in drag.
Right, exactly. It was more for their musical content as opposed to their appearance. Agreed.
Right, and it's like, oh, they're having too much sex. It's like, come on, man. Like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about?
Honestly, it's really like it's kind of what you were saying before, where if you're shaming a kink, you really secretly like that kink. Where I truly believe that the people that shit all over like sex and all that kind of stuff are the people that, one, don't know how to have it, and two, are like ashamed of having it, which is there's nothing wrong with it, and it's healthy and it's good, and it's like, one of like the few passions I think everyone gets to have.
Yeah.
You know what
In
I mean?
fact, that's how you exist, is through sex.
Yeah.
That's what people
I hope you know.
People always say, hey, watch your language around kids. I'm like, where do you fucking think that kid came from, bro? Like, but I can always do it, but still, it's a joke I make.
No, I'm with you. Yeah. No, I get in trouble with that. I have a 3-year-old daughter, where it's like, I say, like, the other day she came home and she, like, we were doing something. She's like, oh, goddamn shit, huh, Dad? And I was like, whoa, okay. Whoa. You heard Mom say that, right?
Right.
Yeah, the little sponges, they absorb everything.
That's great. So, okay, Ray, do you have a last question for Peg Talk?
So we have to do the one that's important, thoughts on pegging. So do you like being pegged or pegging other people? Or
I have never been pegged.
Okay.
I've had girls use toys on me, and I bottomed for trans girls, but I've never been pegged. I'm open to it though.
Yeah. Definitely.
Like, it worries me a little bit, just because like sometimes I'll see the girls that like to strap are like, yeah, I got this fucking 85-incher.
Yeah. I got the Dread 2000, like,
First of all, I don't want Dread anywhere near my ass, first of all.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's just like, yo, dog, like, let's start with like maybe like a finger size, and then we can move up like over time. But I'm definitely open to it, and I want to. I definitely want to shoot that, like, as part of the gangbang that I want to shoot. I think it's have to be fun.
Definitely.
I'm pro pegging.
You could do like a variety gangbang. You know what I mean? Where you have someone peg, you have a trans, you have a dude. Like, you can just go through the whole gambit.
Yeah, I've never done anything like that. I think that'd be fun. So
nice. I'm into it.
Yeah, I agree. So, okay, we are coming towards the top of time. We went a little over, but I'll tell you, Andre, man, this has been so much fun. And me, Ray, and I'm sure the rest of the gang are usually on the same page as this, but we would love to have you back on the show if you.
Yeah, it'd be fun. I'd come back whenever. It was a lot of fun.
No, this has been great. So, Andre, is there anything you would like to say to your fans before we take off?
Well, I know that the Trans Erotica Awards, the pre-noms are open. So if you guys could head over there, I think I have a fairly good shot of winning best non-trans cis male performer of the year there.
Hell yeah.
So get your votes in for that. When the XBiz and AVN award shows come out, or nominations come out, I'd appreciate y'all voting for me for if I get any nominations there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then if you guys want to hang out with me, off this, then I got OnlyFans, I do Chatterbait, I do Sex Panther.
We'll have a link in the description of this episode, and we'll have links to all your stuff in the description. So if you want to like visit or hang out with Andre or anything like that, we'll have it. Go to the description of this episode. We'll have links for everything, for all his social media. We'll have his link tree, everything like that will be in there, so you can find him, view his content, message him, get to know him, and all that stuff. And if you want to just have a good time, I mean, he's just a blast to chill and talk to as well. So
I'm on Twitter all the time. I got addicted to Twitter in journalism because you had to, and now I can't get off it. So
Yeah.
it's in my veins.
It's tough. That stuff you get into like such a hole on like Instagram and Twitter and YouTube, where it's like those shorts gimmicks where you just like
right. Be
on there for hours. But what were you gonna say, Ray Ray?
It was really refreshing to hear your perspective on the talk of everything and how you're normalizing like the trans and the bi and everything is just really awesome. So yeah.
I appreciate y'all having me on.
Hey man, super happy to have you on. Ray Ray, is there anything you would like to say to your fans, friends, family, whoever, before we get out of here?
I just love my fans. I'm nothing without you guys, and I have a lot of good content coming. I just shot 4 scenes while I was at Exotica, so more coming. So yay.
Nice. Well, speaking of a lot coming, this has been another episode of the Working Perspectives podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied today by the one and only Ray Ray, and our guest today is the amazing Andre Stone. In case you're wondering, you can find all our stuff and all our content on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You have us on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can join us on Twitter and TikTok at Working P Pod. And if you would like to be a guest on the show, please email us at workperspectives@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. See you.